The hidden secret behind the billionaire mindset. There is a reason why two people can work the same hours in the same world, yet one becomes wealthy while the other struggles forever. It's not luck. It's not even hard work alone. The truth is this: poor people work hard for money, while billionaires make money work hard for them. Think about it. The janitor and the CEO both wake up early, both face stress, both get tired. But the CEO's decisions move millions of dollars. The janitor's effort earns only his next meal. The difference is not effort, it's thinking. This is what most people never understand. They try to fix their results without fixing their mindset. They think working more hours will make them rich. But billionaires know, thinking differently about time, value, and opportunity is what multiplies wealth. Today, you will learn how to stop working like the poor and start thinking like billionaires do. Because your success doesn't start in your hands, it starts in your head. Part 1. Poor work for money. Billionaires make money work for them. Most people grow up hearing the same advice. Work hard, get a job, and you'll be successful. It sounds right, it feels honest, but it's one of the most dangerous half-truths in the world. Because while hard work is important, it's not the main key to wealth. If hard work alone made people rich, then every construction worker, waiter, or cleaner would be a millionaire. But that's not the case. The truth is, most poor people work harder than the rich, yet they still struggle. Why? Because they are working hard in the wrong system. They are stuck trading their time for money. When you sell your time for money, you're selling the most limited thing you have: your life energy. Once you spend an hour, you can never get it back. The poor mindset believes that if you work more hours, you'll earn more money. But the rich mindset knows that time is a terrible product to sell. Billionaires understand that time is limited, but ideas and systems can grow forever. They don't want to earn money once. They want to create something that keeps earning for them. This is called leverage, the magic power that multiplies your effort. Leverage means building systems, businesses, or investments that continue to work even when you are not physically working. It means your money, your skills, your ideas, and sometimes even other people's time are working for you. That's how the rich get richer. They stop being the worker and start being the architect. Think of Jeff Bezos. When he started Amazon, he wasn't thinking about how to make a few dollars more per hour. He was thinking about how to create a system that sells products to millions of people automatically, even while he sleeps. The result? Amazon became one of the largest companies in the world. And Bezos became one of the richest men in history. That's leverage. That's using a system instead of sweat. Now look at how the poor think. Most poor people stay poor not because they lack effort, but because they are trapped in the time for money exchange. They believe that working more hours or taking a second job is the way to earn more. They see money as a direct result of labor, not as a tool that can grow by itself. So even when they earn a little extra, they spend it, and then have to start over again. Billionaires, on the other hand, think in terms of equity, ownership, and cash flow. They don't ask, "How much will I earn today?" They ask, "What can I build that will keep earning tomorrow?" They buy assets, things that generate income such as businesses, stocks, real estate, or intellectual property. They understand that the goal is not to be busy, but to be productive. Busy people work hard. Productive people work smart. Let's imagine two people. One works 10 hours a day at a job, and the other spends those same 10 hours building an online business or investing in an idea. The first person earns a steady salary, but the moment they stop working, the income stops too. The second person might earn nothing at first, but once their system starts working, it earns for them day and night. After a few years, the first person is tired and broke. The second is free. The difference? Leverage. That's why billionaires focus on building machines, not running them. They create systems that don't need their constant presence. They design their businesses so that even if they take a week off, money still flows in. They understand that freedom is not working less. It's owning systems that work for you. If you want to stop working like the poor, start asking yourself this powerful question every single day. How can I make my money, skill, or idea work even when I'm not working? It might not have an answer right away, but that question alone will start to shift your mindset. Maybe you'll start an online business. Maybe you'll learn about investing. Maybe you'll create digital content, write a book, or develop a skill that earns passive income. Whatever the form, the goal is the same: to detach your income from your time. Remember, money is a servant, but if you don't control it, it will control you. The poor work for money. Billionaires make money work for them. And the moment you truly understand that, not just in your head, but in your actions, is the moment your financial life will begin to transform. Part 2. Poor people focus on jobs. Billionaires focus on building value. For most people, life becomes a never-ending search for the perfect job. From childhood, they're told to study hard, get good grades, and find a stable career. Parents say, get a safe job and you'll be set for life. And so, people grow up chasing security, a monthly paycheck, a permanent position, a job title that sounds important. But here's the truth. Security often becomes the slowest road to poverty. Because while you're searching for safety, billionaires are out there creating opportunities that make the world move. Poor people focus on finding a job that pays them. Billionaires focus on building something that pays everyone else. That is the difference in mindset. One thinks about survival, the other thinks about creation. The poor say, I need to find someone who will hire me. Billionaires say, I'll build something that others can work in. That single thought separates an employee from an entrepreneur, a follower from a creator. Most people measure success by the position they hold, the title on their business card. But billionaires measure success by the value they create. They ask themselves powerful questions. How can I solve a problem that affects millions? How can I make life easier, faster, or better for others? Because they understand that money always follows value. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the reward. Look at Elon Musk. He didn't wait for someone to offer him a position at a big company. He created his own. PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX. Each one was born from a question. What's broken in the world, and how can I fix it? When the world said electric cars weren't possible, he proved them wrong. When people said rockets could never be reused, he built SpaceX to make it real. Musk didn't chase a salary, he chased a solution. And the world paid him for his ideas, not for his hours. The poor mindset often says, if I can just get a job, I'll be okay. But the billionaire mindset says, if I can create something valuable, I'll be free. The poor are trained to fit into systems that others built. The rich design new systems for others to fit into. Poor people wait for permission. Billionaires give themselves permission. Poor people rely on bosses to decide their worth. Billionaires let the market decide it. And the market always rewards one thing: value. When you work a job, you're paid for your time, for doing what you're told. But when you build value, you're paid for your impact, for changing how others live or think. The difference is enormous. You can work 12 hours a day and still earn little if your time doesn't create real value. But you can make millions from a single idea if it solves a big problem. That's why billionaires don't worry about job security. Their job is to make something meaningful. They know that people will always pay for value, innovation, and impact. If you take away all their money, they can still rebuild from nothing, because they have the mindset of a creator, not the fear of a worker. So if you want to stop working like the poor, stop thinking like an employee. Start thinking like a problem solver. Ask yourself, what can I create that improves people's lives? It doesn't have to be a billion-dollar idea. It can be a small service, a digital product, or even a simple solution that makes someone's day easier. That's how all great things begin. Small value that grows over time. Remember this golden rule. You are not paid for your time. You are paid for the value you bring. The more valuable you become to others, the more the world will reward you. So stop chasing jobs. Start building value. Because the moment you stop looking for work and start creating worth, you stop working like the poor and start thinking like the rich. Part 3. Poor think short-term. Billionaires. Think long-term. One of the biggest differences between the poor and the rich has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with time perspective. Poor people think about today. Billionaires think about tomorrow, next year, and even the next generation. The poor mindset constantly asks, how much will I get paid today? While the billionaire mindset asks, what can I build today that will keep paying me 10 years from now? This single difference in thinking changes everything. Most people want quick results. They want fast money, instant rewards, and immediate comfort. But billionaires know that anything great, wealth, success, freedom, takes time to build. They understand that short-term pain creates long-term gain. The poor, however, often avoid discomfort, not realizing that avoiding pain today only brings a bigger struggle tomorrow. You see, the poor fear losing money. They don't want to take a risk, make a mistake, or wait too long for results. Their thinking is trapped in the moment. I need to see results now, or it's not worth it. But billionaires fear something else entirely. They fear losing opportunity. They know money can be regained, but time and opportunity cannot. So, when the poor are trying to save every penny, the rich are investing in the next decade. Warren Buffett, one of the most respected investors in history, once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." But that wisdom applies to more than just stocks. It's about life itself. Patience is what transfers wealth, power, and success from those who rush to those who wait. The impatient quit too soon, but the patient build empires. Think of how billionaires operate. They plant seeds and wait for them to grow. They can go years without seeing big profits because they understand the law of compounding. Small efforts, repeated over time, create massive results. The poor mindset wants quick returns. The rich mindset wants compounding returns. Look at someone like Elon Musk. When he was building SpaceX, his company nearly went bankrupt. He could have quit. But he kept going because his vision wasn't about next month. It was about the next century. He believed in the long-term future of space travel. That's how billionaires think. They are patient visionaries, not impatient dreamers. The poor often quit when results are slow because they believe progress should be visible and instant. They get discouraged when success takes time. But billionaires know that the real results happen quietly, beneath the surface, before the world can see them. That's why they keep going even when others give up. They understand that persistence is a kind of superpower, not flashy, but incredibly effective. If you want to build something meaningful in your life, stop asking, "How fast can I make money?" and start asking, "How long can I stay consistent to master one thing?" The poor chase speed, the rich chase mastery. Because when you master something deeply, wealth becomes a natural outcome. Every billionaire you admire, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, all had one thing in common. They played the long game. They spent years building before earning. They stayed focused while others got distracted. They kept learning while others stopped growing. The secret to real wealth isn't about how fast you move. It's about how long you can keep moving in the right direction. The poor mindset gives up when results are slow. The billionaire mindset embraces patience, persistence, and perspective. So train yourself to think like them. Don't measure your progress by days or weeks. Measure it by years. Focus on building something that lasts, a skill, a business, a reputation. Because while the poor live for the weekend, billionaires live for the legacy. In the end, wealth doesn't belong to those who move the fastest. It belongs to those who can wait the longest without losing faith. Part 4. Poor fear risk. Billionaires manage risk. If there's one thing that separates poor thinkers from rich thinkers more than anything else, it's their attitude toward risk. Poor people often see risk as danger, something to be avoided, something that threatens their little bit of security. But billionaires see risk differently. They see it as opportunity wrapped in uncertainty. Where others see fear, they see potential. Where others see the chance of loss, they see the chance of growth. That single difference in how they view risk determines everything that follows. The poor say, "What if I fail?" But the billionaire says, "What if it works?" That tiny change in question transforms the whole direction of life. Poor people focus on what they might lose. Billionaires focus on what they might gain. That's why poor people stay stuck. They never take the first step. They want guarantees before they act. But success never comes with a guarantee. It always comes with uncertainty. You see, poor people avoid risk because they fear losing the little they have. They cling to comfort, even if that comfort is limited. They stay in jobs they hate, routines they dislike, and lifestyles that don't grow. All because they're afraid to lose what's familiar. But billionaires understand that the biggest risk in life is staying the same. They know that playing it safe is actually the most dangerous thing you can do. Because when you avoid risk, you avoid progress. You avoid the very experiences that could transform your life. Now, billionaires don't take blind risks. They take calculated ones. They study the situation, understand the possibilities, and prepare for failure. But most importantly, they act. They don't freeze. They don't wait forever for the perfect time. They know that perfection never arrives, and opportunities don't wait. Every self-made billionaire in history, from Elon Musk to Oprah Winfrey to Richard Branson, took massive but well-calculated risks. They didn't jump off a cliff without a parachute. They built the parachute while jumping. Elon Musk once invested nearly all his personal money into Tesla and SpaceX. He reached a point where he had to borrow money just to pay his rent. Most people would have quit long before that. But Musk didn't see it as losing. He saw it as investing in a future he believed in. That's the difference between fear and faith. Poor people believe in fear. Billionaires believe in possibility. The poor mindset says, I can't afford to take risks. The billionaire mindset says, I can't afford to stay the same. This is why growth always lives outside your comfort zone. You cannot expand your income, your mindset, or your life while staying safe. The more comfort you seek, the smaller your world becomes. Billionaires have learned to live with discomfort. They don't let fear stop them. They use it as fuel. They know that fear is a sign they're moving in the right direction. But here's the secret. Billionaires don't gamble. They manage risk. They learn, they research, they surround themselves with smart people, and they take informed action. They know they might lose money, but they also know that knowledge gained from failure is priceless. For them, failure is never final. It's feedback. It's data for the next step. That's how they turn every setback into a setup for success. If you want to think like a billionaire, don't try to eliminate risk. Learn to manage it. Take small, smart steps toward your goals. Study, plan, prepare, but don't freeze. Action beats fear every time. Because the real danger isn't in taking a risk. It's in living a life so safe that you never discover your true potential. Ask yourself this. Would you rather live with the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? One makes you grow. The other slowly destroys you. Billionaires choose discipline. They take risks, fall, learn, rise, and keep moving. Poor thinkers stay frozen in what if. So, don't fear risk, respect it. Study it, manage it, use it. Because life rewards those who dare to step forward when others stand still. Remember, the greatest risk isn't losing money. It's losing your chance to become who you're meant to be. Part 5. Poor think about spending. Billionaires. Think about investing. Poor people ask, how much can I buy with this money? Billionaires ask, how much can I multiply with this money? That one shift in thinking separates those who stay broke from those who become financially free. The poor mindset is driven by emotion, excitement, fear, and the desire for quick pleasure. When a poor person earns money, their first instinct is to spend it on comfort. New clothes, the latest phone, a fancy car, or a celebration. It feels good in the moment, but the pleasure fades while the bill remains. The billionaire mindset, however, is driven by logic and purpose. When they earn, their first thought isn't spending, it's multiplying. They see every dollar as an employee that can go out and work for them. The poor use money for pleasure. The rich use money for power. Poor people often think money is meant to be spent. They believe the purpose of money is to buy happiness or social approval. So when they get extra cash, they upgrade their lifestyle immediately. New shoes, better restaurants, or a bigger apartment. Billionaires, on the other hand, use money as a tool. They understand that money by itself has no power. It only becomes powerful when it's put to work. That's why they buy assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, patents, and ideas. These things create value and generate cash flow even when they sleep. This difference in thinking creates two very different results. The poor spend money and it disappears. The rich invest money and it multiplies. The poor look for instant reward, a sense of satisfaction that lasts minutes. The rich look for delayed reward, a return that lasts generations. Every time you spend money, you are making a decision between your present comfort and your future freedom. That's why billionaires treat money like a seed. They know that every dollar has the potential to grow into a tree, if it's planted in the right soil. Think of your money as seeds. When you spend it on something that loses value, like a new phone or a designer outfit, you are throwing the seed on the ground. It looks beautiful for a moment, but it doesn't grow. When you invest it in knowledge, skills, business, or property, you are planting the seed. It might take time, but one day it will grow into a tree that gives shade and fruit for years to come. Every dollar you earn can either be a seed or a stone. A seed grows, a stone sinks. The poor fill their pockets with stones and then wonder why they keep sinking. Billionaires collect seeds and patiently wait for their forest to grow. Another key difference is how they view income. Poor people see income as something to spend. Billionaires see income as something to reinvest. For the poor, income is an end. For the rich, it's a beginning. When billionaires make money, they reinvest it into opportunities that will bring more income, like buying another property, expanding a business, or learning a new high-income skill. They understand the power of compounding. When your money starts making more money for you. That's how wealth multiplies quietly over time. So the next time you earn, don't ask, "What should I buy?" Ask, "What can I build?" Don't think about how much money you can spend. Think about how much you can grow. The poor think about looking rich. Billionaires think about being rich quietly. They don't need to show their wealth because real wealth doesn't need to shout. It speaks through freedom, options, and peace of mind. True wealth isn't about the car you drive. It's about the choices you can make. If you want to become rich, learn to delay gratification. Instead of rewarding yourself today, invest in something that will reward you tomorrow. Every time you hold back from unnecessary spending and choose to invest, you are buying a piece of your future. Remember, the poor buy things that fade. Billionaires build things that last. Wealth isn't built by how much you earn, but by how much you keep, grow, and multiply. So use your money wisely. Plant it, nurture it, and let it grow. That's how you stop thinking like the poor and start living like the rich. Part 6. Poor seek comfort. Billionaires seek growth. One of the most overlooked reasons people stay poor is comfort. It might sound strange. After all, who doesn't want comfort? But comfort can be a trap. The poor mindset sees comfort as a goal, a reward, and sometimes even a shield. Once someone finds a stable job, a predictable salary, and a small but safe living space, they feel they have made it. They stop pushing themselves. They stop learning. They stop dreaming. Comfort becomes their prison. Billionaires think differently. They are almost allergic to comfort, and they embrace discomfort willingly. They understand that comfort can kill ambition, that feeling safe and content is often the enemy of progress. When you are comfortable, you stop moving forward. Your mind stops stretching, your skills stop expanding, and your life stops growing. The moment you settle into comfort, you stop evolving. Billionaires know this. They intentionally put themselves in situations that challenge them, scare them, and make them feel uncomfortable. Because that is how growth happens. Think of it like a muscle. A muscle grows only when it is challenged. You lift heavier weights, you push through fatigue, and the muscle adapts, becoming stronger. Your mind works in the same way. Comfort is like lying on the couch. It feels good, but your brain and your abilities do not grow. Growth happens only when you stretch beyond your familiar limits. When you face challenges you are not sure you can overcome. That is why billionaires seek challenges rather than comfort. They don't just accept life as it is. They actively create opportunities that force them to grow. Billionaires constantly put themselves in uncomfortable situations, starting new businesses, learning skills they have never mastered, entering unknown markets, or exploring ideas that others consider impossible. Every new experience, every challenge, every setback is training for their mind. They adapt, they evolve, and they expand their thinking. Uncertainty and difficulty are not threats. They are tools for growth. Every discomfort is a lesson in patience, resilience, and creativity. The poor often say, "I just want peace." They want life to be predictable, safe, and easy. They fear challenges because they come with risk, discomfort, and possible failure. But billionaires think, "I want progress." Peace, they know, does not come from avoiding struggle. Peace comes from mastering it. Every challenge you overcome adds to your ability, your confidence, and your capacity to create. Struggle is not a punishment. It is a stepping stone to freedom, influence, and wealth. If you want to think like a billionaire, you must learn to find comfort in discomfort. You must embrace the moments that feel difficult or unfamiliar. You must take on challenges that scare you a little, because every new level of life requires a new version of you. Comfort keeps you small. Discomfort makes you powerful. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you are investing in your growth. You are stretching your limits, building your skills, and preparing yourself for greater opportunities. Billionaires understand that real achievement lies just beyond the edge of comfort. They intentionally put themselves in situations that push their limits and test their resolve. They don't run from failure or fear. They use it as fuel to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. Every discomfort they face is an investment in a better future. So, if you want to rise above mediocrity and stop thinking like the poor, stop seeking comfort and start seeking challenge. Learn to welcome the uncomfortable. Learn to embrace uncertainty. Because the moment you find comfort in discomfort, the moment you welcome challenges instead of avoiding them, is the moment your life begins to change. Each challenge you face, each risk you take, and each skill you master brings you closer to the mindset of a billionaire. A mindset that thrives on growth, progress, and limitless potential. Part 7. Poor work alone. Billionaires build networks. One of the biggest differences between the poor and the rich is how they approach people and relationships. The poor often think, if I want something done right, I'll do it myself. They believe that relying on others is risky, that no one else will meet their standards, and that collaboration only slows them down. But billionaires think differently. They understand that if they want to achieve something big, they cannot do it alone. They know the power of networks, partnerships, and teams. And they leverage it to reach heights that solitary effort could never achieve. Billionaires understand that knowledge and talent are distributed across the world. They cannot know everything, and they don't try to. Instead, they build teams with people who are experts in areas where they are not. They surround themselves with talent, guidance, and insights that amplify their own abilities. While the poor work in isolation, the rich work with others, multiplying their efforts and creating results far beyond what one person could do alone. Poor people compete. They guard their ideas, worry about who might take advantage of them, and treat colleagues as threats. Billionaires, on the other hand, collaborate. They understand that life is not a zero-sum game. The more they lift others, the higher they rise themselves. They share visions, opportunities, and resources. They know that the real wealth of life is not just money, but relationships. Because every great opportunity, investment, or idea comes through people. The right connection can open doors that no amount of hard work alone could ever unlock. This is why billionaires spend time networking, mentoring, learning, and helping others grow. They invest in relationships just as carefully as they invest in businesses or stocks. They see people not as competitors, but as potential partners, collaborators, and allies. They understand that success compounds when shared. By helping others succeed, they create loyalty, trust, and opportunities that return to them many times over. Poor people often ask, "Who will help me?" Their thinking is reactive, dependent, and small. Billionaires ask, "Who can I help so we both rise?" Their thinking is proactive, generous, and expansive. By providing value to others first, they attract opportunities, talent, and resources without chasing them. This is a mindset shift that transforms not just careers, but entire lives. Think of it this way. If you want to go fast, go alone. It's true that working by yourself can sometimes get things done quickly. But if you want to go far, if you want to build something that lasts, something impactful, you cannot do it alone. You need a network of people who share your vision, complement your skills, and push you to grow. Every great company, every influential idea, every global movement has succeeded because of teams and networks, not isolated effort. Billionaires are masters at building relationships strategically and authentically. They don't collect contacts to brag about them. They nurture relationships that create mutual growth. They know that money may come and go, but a trusted network can create opportunities for life. They attend events, seek mentors, learn from peers, and give generously without immediate expectation of return. Because they know that relationships compound just like investments. So if you want to stop thinking like the poor, start thinking like a billionaire. Stop trying to do everything alone. Build teams, nurture relationships, and collaborate with others. Seek out mentors, share your vision, and lift others as you climb. Help people succeed, and doors will open for you that you never imagined. Remember, alone you can move fast, but together you can go far beyond what you ever dreamed. The ultimate lesson is clear. Wealth is not just in money or assets. It's in connections, trust, and collaboration. Learn to build networks, and you will unlock a level of opportunity, growth, and freedom that no solitary effort can ever provide. Final words. Think like a billionaire. Live like a creator. My friend, if you truly want to change your financial future, don't start by working harder. Working harder only stretches your time. It doesn't multiply it. Instead, start by thinking smarter. Because the truth is, both the poor and the billionaire live in the same world. They both have 24 hours in a day. The difference is how they use those hours. The poor use time to survive. The billionaire uses time to create, grow, and multiply. That is the essence of wealth. Not the hours you work, but the impact you build. Billionaires don't chase a paycheck. They don't measure success by the balance in their bank account. Instead, they work for freedom, for creation, and for legacy. They focus on building systems, solving problems, and generating value that lasts far beyond a single day. Their work is not about money. It's about influence, impact, and innovation. And this is exactly what you can learn from them. You don't need a title, a fancy degree, or a massive budget to start thinking like a billionaire. All you need is the right mindset. Here on English Achieved, we emphasize learning from the strategies of the wealthy, not just their stories. Study their mindset. Think long-term. Create real value. Take smart risks. Build networks. Invest in your skills. Keep learning. Because your true wealth is not in your wallet. It's in your mindset. Every dollar you earn, every opportunity you take, and every lesson you learn multiplies when guided by the thinking of a creator. So stop working like the poor. Stop trading hours for money. Start thinking like billionaires do. Ask yourself, how can I make my money, my skills, and my ideas work even when I'm not working? The moment you adopt this mindset, you will realize that your life begins to rise. The shift doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with a single choice. The choice to think smarter, create more, and live like a billionaire in your own way. Your journey starts today.